Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and as you can see from the title, we're diving into a new series that was not included on the list of my series I was going to be doing in August, if you saw my channel update video for August 2023. But in typical Topher fashion, something tickled my fancy. I'm like, you know what, let's dive into it, because why not? I've got a little bit of time today. So I was in my living room eating dinner while I was waiting for a video to finish exporting, and I just came across this short on YouTube, and I was like, okay, what is this? And then I looked at the comments and it said Jun Jun, and I'm like, okay, well, it's already on my list. And this is probably like the second or third short I've seen where I'm like, oh, this looks adorable. What is this? Oh, this looks adorable. What is this? I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking this as a sign that I should just dive into it. So we got a bonus series this month, like anyone is actually surprised. So yeah, we're just gonna dive in and see if the cuteness actually lives up, if the little shorts I've been seeing actually live up to the cuteness in the series or not, or if they're just blowing it all out of proportion. It is a Korean series, which means that reactions can sometimes be fun, and I'm not trying to risk getting my channel struck or taken down or anything like that. So I'll see if anyone else has reacted to this. I'll see if there are any guidelines. If I can put it on YouTube, I will. If I have to edit it somehow, I will, and the full version will be over on my Patreon for free. Link will be down in the description. Just click and it'll take you over there. But let's dive in and see what this series has in store for us. Okay. Oh, okay. Hello, man. I see ears. I see cheekbones. I see, oh, praise Jesus, Lord. Oh, you better sit him on your lap, child. I love this show already. This is like my favorite office romance. Oh, hell, God, I love this show. That back is gorgeous. He is precious, and I already want to give him a hug.
여기서부터 여기까지. 어떻게 지냈어? 그동안?
The soundtrack need to calm down. This man need to... Sir, you do not have to sit right in front of me like this, stare at me.
오랜만이야.
Apparently. Child? Hot, sweaty, extremely hungry at the moment.
최준?
This is terrible! You guys, this series is freaking adorable. I am so in love with this series. Y'all don't even know. It is precious. Oh my... Like, where do I even start? Where do I start? Like, well, it had a fantastic start. Because, like, sometimes with some of these newer series I step into, it takes me, like, the first 5 or 10 minutes to kind of get in the groove of things and kind of, like, okay, right now we're introducing this world, we're introducing the characters, and sometimes it might feel a little bit slow and it just takes me some time to get wrapped up in this. This, literally, the second the episode started, I was hooked. And granted, they had a shirtless, delicious man bathing in the sunlight. Granted, we only saw the top of his back and, you know, some cheekbones and whatnot, but still, it caught my attention. And then, you know, it started off like a lot of these sort of office romance series I've seen on the channel have, where one of them is waking up late, he's got a rush to work, and he's frantically trying to get to work, and he makes some sort of connection with this older person, or this person in power, higher up in the rankings than he is, and that person higher up in the rankings takes a liking to him immediately, where he's kind of aloof. And again, it's giving me very sort of Cherry Magic, Kurosawa, Adachi kind of vibes ish, just from the chemistry setup. And I don't know if Choi Jun, I'm just gonna call them Choi and Lee for right now since they're both Jun. I don't know if Choi was fully aware of who Lee was. Like the second he saw him, I feel like very early on he recognized who that was. Like clearly they haven't seen each other for a while. They've been apart. He's been over in the U.S. Don't know for how long, but they have not seen each other for a while. Even though they have this pre-existing friendship as kids, apparently. But they've not seen each other for a while, long enough that, you know, enough about them has changed, they've grown up, and they look different. So, I don't know at what point Choi recognized that this was Lee, but he recognized very, very early on, and that explains why he was acting the way he was. Like, in any other instance, if that were any other employee, he probably would have treated him, you know, like most employers would. It's your first day, you're an intern, and you are late. You're blah, 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 blah. And like they said, you just got to make it in before the boss. But he was very, very nice. And he's like, hey, you want to know a secret how to make it in before the boss? Here, follow me. And he's like, he lets him go first. And like at first I'm sitting here thinking, okay, he's just being flirtatious and he really is attracted to this guy really hard for no reason whatsoever. I'm like, okay, well maybe he recognizes him from his idol days, because apparently Lee was a former idol, and I don't know if he was just like a trainee and, you know, he left the business, or if he had like a long-standing K-pop idol career, and then now he's moved on from that and just working in a regular business. I don't know what the breakdown of that is, but I was like, maybe he just recognizes him as being an idol, like the girl in the convenience store. She's like, oh, I just saw Lee Jun. I just saw him. Oh my god, I can't believe. So I was like, maybe that's the case. But no, it makes even more sense now that they had this long-standing friendship, and he's just kind of sitting there waiting for him, like, so when are you gonna recognize that it's me? When are you gonna recognize that? So, you know, he's conversing with him, and you're like, okay, tell me about your resume. Oh, tell me about this, that, the other. And it's like, okay, I've got one final question. Sexually and slowly takes off the glasses. So, how have you been? And I'm like, bitch, you better stop. But please, keep going, please. Go on, tell me more. And I was confused too. I'm like, because he's like, from here to here, how have you been? And I'm like, is this a translation thing? Did I zone out looking at his cheekbones and miss a line of something? And I'm gonna have to go back and watch the scene again. And I'm like, but then we flashed over to Lee, and Lee also seemed a little bit perplexed and confused, like, I don't know what you mean. And then he stands his sexy, delicious ass up, and then he comes and sits on the table right in front of her. I'm like, girl, you do not have to get so close to me like this. I mean, please do, by all means. I've got all this table space. You just pick a surface and you sit your ass on it. I also have a face. Please, welcome. But he's like, just propping his ass up there, and he's like, I'll ask you again, how have you been? And I'm like, sir, this is very inappropriate behavior for a boss. Now, if I wasn't shipping you guys together and I wasn't instantly attracted to you, I would say, sir, I need you to back up, because this is not proper behavior in the office workplace. I need you to calm down. But then, you know, he asked him again, and it triggered this memory. It's like, oh, we are old school friends, and he's just sitting here trying to probe this memory out of him. And we got that flashback, and they were adorable in the flashback. And I like how it kind of almost swapped. Like, I like having my expectations subverted. So when they showed me the flashback and they were showing me the two kids, and one of them's like, oh, how come you're always getting bullied? I told you this, that, the other. You know, you have to stand up for yourself. What happens when I'm not around? Like, in my head, immediately the one who was getting bullied was Lee Jun. That was immediately the person who was getting bullied, because I feel like that's, in any other series, that would have just been the archetype, because everything we've seen from him personality-wise has been so scatterbrained and frantic and just sweet cinnamon roll. Like, you could see him being that type of kid who got taken advantage of a lot or got picked on a lot because he wouldn't stand up for himself because he's just such a innocent little cinnamon roll. So I immediately thought that was him, but then I watched the scene back. I'm like, no. He said, Jun Jun, when are you gonna stop a bomb? So I'm like, oh no, Lee was this one standing over here, which makes sense because once they started hugging, he starts sniffing around. He's got this thing with sniffing. Apparently, he can't control his damn nose. I'm like, baby, you can smell the air without making like a big to do about it. Like, girl, just breathe around you. It'll get up in there, baby. But I'm like, okay, I like that. We kind of flipped that dynamic a little bit. So Choi was the one getting picked on as a kid. Lee was the one kind of defending him, and now we're kind of, I don't know, Choi seems like he is very capable of taking care of himself. He's grown into himself, and he's very confident. And yeah, it's nice to see, but they are adorable. I love the female coworker who's like, you know what, you guys want to sit here and talk nonsense about this, that, and the other, but I'm not going to sit here and talk behind his back. Isn't this one you said was the one who had special treatment? I mean, we all got letters of recommendation, so I mean, we all have some sort of, like, I'm like, I like you. You're honest, you're bold, and you're upfront. Don't play no games. Love it. Lee's friend is extremely handsome, and I look forward to hopefully seeing him in some sort of maybe side ship thing happening. I would love for that to happen because he's very handsome, and I would love to see his face on someone else's face. And yeah, I absolutely love this series. It is adorable, and I am going to go watch the second episode. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. Don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah.
Together, there's nothing